Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Adrielle's mundane morning routine, a daily ritual of sifting through the mail, was unexpectedly interrupted by an enigmatic envelope. Amidst the generic clutter, a petite, cream-colored parcel stood out, like a sunbeam piercing through a cloudy sky. Intrigued, he brushed his fingers over his short hair, an unconscious gesture of contemplation. The envelope bore his name, Adriel Turner, scripted in a graceful, fluid calligraphy that seemed to dance across the paper. Yet there was no clue as to its sender, no return address, only a tantalizing mystery. Upon opening, a revelation, a voucher to Metamorphose, a sanctuary of style, whispered about by the city's elite. It proffered a chance to indulge in a signature experience, but the voucher was discreet, giving away no secrets about what this experience might entail. He had often drifted past the Salon's lustrous facade, but this was a foray he'd never anticipated. He checked the envelope again, but found no clue about the sender. Adriel set the certificate on his kitchen counter and went about his day, but found himself glancing at it repeatedly. Who would send him such a gift? And why a salon of all places? He had always kept his appearance simple. Short brown hair, basic clothes, nothing fancy. The mysterious gift nagged at him. That evening, curiosity got the better of him. He called the salon. "Metamorphose, how may we help you?" A pleasant voice answered. "Hi, I received a gift certificate for your, signature experience. I'm just wondering what that involves." "Ah, yes, our specialty. It's a complete transformation package, sir. Very popular. The sender must think highly of you. It's our most comprehensive service." "Transformation? Like a haircut and stuff?" The receptionist chuckled. "Much more than that. It's a full styling experience designed to reveal a new side of yourself. I'm afraid I can't explain it all over the phone. The experience is meant to be discovered in person. Would you like to book an appointment?" Adriel hesitated. Something about this felt important, like he was standing at a crossroads. "Sure, why not?" "Wonderful. We have an opening tomorrow at 10 a.m. May I have your name?" "Adriel Turner." "Perfect. We look forward to your transformation, Mr. Turner." After hanging up, Adriel stared at his reflection in the bathroom mirror. His brown eyes looked back at him questioningly. Who had sent this gift? And what did they mean by discover yourself? The next morning, Adriel dressed in his usual attire, faded jeans and a plain gray t-shirt, and made his way to the salon. The building was even more impressive up close, with floor-to-ceiling windows and minimalist decor. He pushed open the heavy glass door, immediately feeling out of place among the sleek surfaces and soft ambient music. "Mr. Turner?" A stylish woman with a bright smile approached. "Welcome to Metamorphose. I'm Vivian, your transformation consultant today." Adriel nodded, suddenly nervous. "About this signature experience, what exactly am I in for?" Vivian guided him to a comfortable chair in a private consultation area. "The signature experience is different for everyone. First, we have a conversation to understand what you're looking for, even if you don't quite know it yourself yet. The thing is, I didn't choose this. Someone gave me a gift certificate with a strange note." Vivian's eyes lit up. "How interesting. May I see the note?" Adriel pulled out the small card. Vivian read it and smiled knowingly. "Discover yourself. Quite profound. Someone knows you well, I think." "That's the weird part. I have no idea who sent it." "Perhaps that's part of the mystery you're meant to solve." Vivian sat across from him, studying his features. Tell me, Adriel, have you ever felt like there's a part of you that you keep hidden, even from yourself? The question struck uncomfortably close to something Adriel had buried deep. He shifted in his seat. I'm not sure what you mean. Let me be more direct. Our signature experience is what we call a gender transformation experience. We help people explore different aspects of their gender expression in a safe, supportive environment. Adriel froze. Wait, you mean like making me look like a woman? I think there's been a mistake. Not a mistake, necessarily. Someone believed this might be valuable for you. Vivian smiled gently. Many clients come to us curious, or even reluctant at first. Some discover aspects of themselves they never acknowledged. Others simply enjoy the experience as a one-time adventure. There's no pressure or expectation. Adriel's mind raced. Who would think he needed this? And why did the suggestion make his heart beat faster instead of simply making him laugh and walk out? I don't know about this, he said, even as something inside him whispered to stay. How about this? Let us begin the process, and at any point, you can say, stop. No commitment, no judgment. Our goal is never to make anyone uncomfortable, but sometimes discomfort is the first step towards self-discovery. Adriel thought about the mysterious note. Discover yourself. There was something compelling about those words, something that resonated with a quiet longing he'd never fully acknowledged. Okay, he said finally. I'll try it. But I can stop whenever? Absolutely. This is your journey. Vivian led him deeper into the salon, to a private area where several professionals waited. She introduced them as his transformation team, Marcelo for hair, Daphne for makeup, and Elena for styling. First, we'll need to prepare your face, Daphne explained, guiding him to a reclined chair. Close your eyes and relax. Adriel complied, feeling gentle hands apply various creams and lotions to his skin. The scents were pleasant, subtle hints of lavender and something citrusy. Your skin is actually quite nice, Daphne commented. Good bone structure, too. You have lovely features to work with. As Daphne worked, Marcelo discussed hair options. Your natural hair has wonderful color. This rich brown is perfect. We can style it to frame your face differently, create softness around your features. Not too dramatic, Adriel said quickly, eyes still closed as Daphne applied something to his face. Of course. Natural and appropriate is our specialty, Marcelo assured him. No one walks out of here looking like they're in costume. Our goal is authenticity. Time passed in a blur of gentle touches and soft instructions. Adriel kept his eyes closed through most of it, finding an unexpected comfort in surrendering to the process. At one point, he felt his hair being washed, conditioned, and carefully styled. Daphne continued her work on his face, applying products with expert precision. Now, for the finishing touches, Daphne said eventually. Open your eyes, please. Adriel complied, finding himself looking at Daphne's smiling face as she applied something to his lips. Almost there, she said. Don't worry about looking yet. We want the full reveal to be all at once. Elena appeared with several items of clothing. I've selected some pieces I think will work beautifully. Shall we try them? Adriel was led to a changing room where Elena handed him the clothing with instructions on how to put everything on. There was a soft blue dress with a simple cut, a light gray cardigan, and a pair of comfortable-looking ballet flats. Feminine undergarments completed the ensemble. Alone in the changing room, Adriel held the blue dress in his hands. This was the moment to back out, to say this had gone far enough. Yet, instead of discomfort, he felt a strange anticipation. With careful movements, he changed into the clothes Elena had provided. The dress felt cool and soft against his skin. The cardigan added a comforting layer, and the ballet flats were surprisingly comfortable. Before stepping out, he took a deep breath, still avoiding looking in the mirror. Elena was waiting outside. She adjusted the cardigan slightly and nodded approvingly. "Perfect! Now for the final reveal!" Adriel was guided to a different room with a large mirror currently covered by an elegant curtain. The entire team gathered around him. "Ready?" Vivian asked, softly. Adriel nodded, his heart pounding. The curtain was drawn back, and Adriel found himself staring at a stranger. No, not a stranger. The person in the mirror had his eyes, his expression of wonder, but everything else had changed. Soft brown hair framed a face that looked naturally feminine, with subtle makeup enhancing rather than masking his features. The blue dress complemented his figure, while the gray cardigan added a casual, comfortable touch. The overall effect wasn't extravagant or theatrical. It was simply right. "This is," Adriel whispered, unable to complete the thought. "Take your time," Vivian said gently. "What are you feeling?" Adriel stepped closer to the mirror, watching as the reflection moved with him. The person looking back wasn't just Adriel in women's clothes and makeup. There was something fundamentally authentic about the image, something that resonated deep within.
"I look like me,"
Adriel said, voice catching.
"But a me I've never let myself see before."
In that moment, a memory surfaced. A childhood friend who had recently reached out after years of distance. Morgan had come out as transgender last year, sending Adriel a long email explaining her journey. Adriel had responded supportively but briefly, unsure why Morgan's news had affected him so deeply. Now it made perfect sense. "Do you want to take a moment alone?" Vivian asked, sensing the emotional shift. Adriel nodded, and the team respectfully withdrew, leaving him standing before the mirror. As the door closed, tears began sliding down carefully made-up cheeks. They weren't tears of distress, but of recognition, as if finding something precious that had been lost for years.
"Hallie,"
Adriel whispered, the name emerging from nowhere, yet feeling instantly right. "I'm Hallie." After several minutes of quiet contemplation, touching the fabric of the dress, turning to see different angles in the mirror, Hallie, for that was who she now knew herself to be, remembered something else. Morgan's email had ended with an unusual phrase. "I hope you discover yourself too." The gift certificate. The note. It had to be from Morgan. Hallie pulled out her phone and with trembling fingers found Morgan's number. "Hello?" Morgan's familiar voice answered. "It was you," Hallie said, voice shaking. "The gift certificate to Metamorphose." A moment of silence, then, "Adriel, are you okay?" "It's Hallie, actually," she said, the name feeling right on her lips. "And I think I'm more okay than I've ever been." Morgan's intake of breath was audible. "Hallie, that's beautiful." "How did you know?" "Before I did." "Little things you said when we were younger. The way you'd look sometimes when we talked about gender.
Then, when I came out, there was something in your response. Support, but also something deeper. Like you were standing at the edge of a diving board, wanting to jump, but afraid of the water. Hallie looked at herself in the mirror again, tears flowing freely now. Thank you for the push I needed. You don't have to decide everything today, you know. It's a journey. I know, but this feels right. Like I've been walking around in shoes 3 sizes too small my whole life and finally found ones that fit. They talked for several more minutes, Morgan offering support and understanding that only someone who had walked a similar path could provide. When they ended the call, Hallie turned back to the mirror, studying her reflection with new eyes. Vivian knocked gently before entering. How are you feeling? Overwhelmed, grateful, terrified. Hallie smiled through her tears. But mostly like I've finally found something I've been looking for my whole life without knowing it. Would you like to tell me your name? Vivian asked perceptively. Hallie. My name is Hallie. Vivian smiled warmly. It's wonderful to meet you, Hallie. We should touch up your makeup a bit. Those tears have left some traces. As Daphne returned to fix her makeup, Hallie asked, What happens now? After I leave here? That's entirely up to you, Vivian said. Some clients take what they learn here and incorporate it gradually into their lives. Others make immediate changes. There's no right way to proceed. Hallie nodded, thinking, I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but I know I can't go back to pretending. Not now that I've seen myself clearly. We offer follow-up services and can connect you with resources and support groups if you'd like. I'd appreciate that. And could I make another appointment for next week? Of course. We'd be delighted to see you again, Hallie. After her makeup was refreshed, Hallie spent some time practicing walking in the ballet flats, getting accustomed to the way the dress moved with her body. The team offered gentle guidance, never pushing, but providing support where needed. Before you go, Elena said, we've put together a small starter package for you. Basic makeup essentials, some skincare products, and care instructions for your new look. She handed Hallie a discreet bag. And your clothes from earlier are in here as well, though you're welcome to leave wearing what you have on. Hallie considered this. Going outside, being seen by strangers in her new identity, was daunting. But the thought of changing back into her old clothes felt wrong, like trying to squeeze back into a shell she'd outgrown. I'll wear this, she decided. It's who I am now. Vivian beamed. Wonderful. And remember, confidence is your best accessory. At the reception desk, Hallie learned that the gift certificate had covered everything, including the take-home package. As she prepared to leave, the entire team gathered to wish her well. Thank you all, Hallie said, emotion thick in her voice, for helping me discover myself. With a deep breath, she pushed open the door and stepped outside, feeling the summer breeze against her skin in a new way. The world looked the same, but everything had changed. Hallie walked slowly down the street, adjusting to the different sensation of the ballet flats, the way the blue dress moved around her legs. She noticed a few glances from passers-by, but none of the negative reactions she had feared. Most people were too absorbed in their own lives to pay much attention. Reaching a small park, Hallie found an empty bench and sat down, needing a moment to process. She pulled out her phone and opened the camera, taking a selfie to capture this moment. Looking at the image, she barely recognized herself, not because the transformation was dramatic,
but because for the first time, her outside matched what she had always felt inside. Her phone buzzed with a message from Morgan. "How are you feeling?" Hallie typed back, "Like I've finally met myself." Morgan replied instantly, "That's how it feels. Welcome home." Home. Yes, that was it exactly. Hallie felt like she had been wandering lost for years and had finally found her way home. As she sat in the park, Hallie began making mental lists of what she would need to do. Tell her friends, her family, her coworkers. The thought was overwhelming, but she also felt a strange new strength. Having acknowledged this truth about herself, she couldn't imagine trying to hide it again. Another message from Morgan appeared. "Want company? I'm not far from downtown." Hallie hesitated only briefly before replying, "Yes, that would be great." 20 minutes later, she spotted Morgan walking toward her. Tall, confident, with shoulder-length auburn hair. They had been childhood friends, but had drifted apart in high school. Seeing her now, Hallie felt an immediate connection, the bond of shared experience. Morgan sat beside her on the bench, taking in Hallie's appearance with a warm smile. "You look beautiful. Happy." "I feel both of those things. And terrified, too." "That's normal. The terror fades, but the happiness and beauty, those stay." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment before Morgan spoke again.
"I hope you're not angry that I interfered. I wasn't sure if I was right about you, but something told me you needed a gentle push."
"Not angry at all. Grateful beyond words." Hallie turned to face her friend.
"How did you know to send me to that specific salon?" "I went there myself when I was first exploring my identity. They're amazing, professional, understanding, not judgmental. I thought it would be a safe place for you to explore." "It was perfect. Though I still can't believe you spent that much on me. Those services can't be cheap." Morgan shrugged. "Consider it repayment for all those times you helped me with math homework." She smiled, then grew serious. "Besides, I remember how much it meant to have support at the beginning. Not everyone gets that." "What was it like for you? Coming out, transitioning?" "Hard. Beautiful. Worth every difficult moment." Morgan looked out across the park. "There were people who couldn't accept it, including some I thought would stand by me no matter what. That hurt. But I also discovered who my true friends were, and made new ones who love me for who I really am." "I'm sorry I wasn't there for you during that time," Hallie said quietly. "You're here now. That's what matters." They spent the next hour talking, Morgan sharing her experiences and offering advice, Hallie asking questions she'd never had the courage to voice before. As the afternoon wore on, Hallie felt her confidence growing, bolstered by Morgan's support and the simple fact of being seen and accepted as her true self. "I should probably head home soon," Hallie said eventually. "Figure out what comes next." "Do you want company for that too? The first evening can be a bit overwhelming." Hallie nodded gratefully. "If you don't mind?" They walked together to Hallie's apartment, drawing occasional glances but nothing malicious. Morgan kept the conversation flowing naturally, helping Hallie feel at ease in public. At the apartment, Hallie hesitated before unlocking the door. "It's going to look different now. Everything will." "That's okay. You're seeing with new eyes." Stepping inside, Hallie looked around at her living space. The furniture she had chosen, the books on the shelves, the art on the walls. All of it had been selected by the person she had been pretending to be. Some still resonated. Other items felt foreign now. "It's strange,"
she said, moving further into the apartment. I feel like I'm seeing everything for the first time, deciding what's really mine and what was just part of the disguise. Morgan nodded understandingly. That sorting process takes time. Be patient with yourself. They ordered dinner and continued talking, Morgan helping Hallie brainstorm practical next steps, who to tell first, how to approach work, medical considerations if she decided to pursue physical transition. You don't have to figure everything out tonight, Morgan reminded her. This is a marathon, not a sprint. After dinner, Hallie found herself standing in front of her bedroom mirror again, studying her reflection in the blue dress and gray cardigan. What are you thinking? Morgan asked from the doorway. That I never want to go back, even if it would be easier. The easier path isn't always the right one. Hallie turned away from the mirror. I'm going to need more clothes. Morgan laughed. Now that I can definitely help with. Later, after Morgan had left with promises to check in tomorrow, Hallie sat alone in her apartment, still dressed as her true self. She picked up her phone and scrolled through her contacts, considering who to reach out to first. Her sister had always been supportive of everything in her life. Perhaps she would start there. Before she could overthink it, Hallie dialed her sister's number. Hey, what's up? Elise answered casually. I have something important to tell you, Hallie said, her voice shaking slightly. Something I just figured out about myself today. Are you okay? You sound strange. I'm more than okay. Hallie took a deep breath. My name is Hallie. I'm a woman. I think I always have been, but I only realized it today. Silence stretched across the line, each second feeling like an eternity. Elise, are you there? I'm here, her sister said slowly. I'm just processing. Hallie, huh? Yes. It's pretty. It suits you better than Adrielle ever did, if I'm being honest. Tears sprang to Hallie's eyes. Really? Really. So, tell me everything. How did you figure this out? Hallie explained about the gift certificate, the salon, the moment of recognition when she saw herself clearly for the first time. As she spoke, the last tendrils of doubt melted away. This was right. This was real. Can I meet Hallie in person? Elise asked when she finished the story. Maybe coffee tomorrow? I'd like that very much. After they hung up, Hallie felt a wave of exhaustion wash over her. The day had been emotionally intense, life-changing in ways she was still processing. She moved around her apartment, turning off lights and preparing for bed. In the bathroom, she studied the makeup removal products the salon had provided, following their instructions carefully to cleanse her face. Even without the makeup, looking in the mirror felt different now. She could see herself beneath the surface. Hallie, who had been waiting patiently all these years to be acknowledged. Changing into pajamas, her old ones, which felt oddly masculine now, Hallie climbed into bed and stared at the ceiling, replaying the day's events. She reached for her phone one last time and sent a message to Morgan. Thank you for the most important gift anyone has ever given me. The reply came quickly. The gift was always within you. I just helped you unwrap it. Sleep well, Hallie. As she drifted toward sleep, Hallie felt a profound sense of peace. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, difficult conversations, practical considerations. But tonight, she rested in the simple joy of discovery, of finally seeing herself clearly and being seen by others. In the morning, Hallie woke with a moment of disorientation before remembering. She wasn't Adriel pretending to be someone else. She was Hallie discovering who she had always been. The realization brought both excitement and anxiety about the day ahead. She showered, noting how differently she experienced her body now, with awareness rather than disconnect. Wrapped in a towel, she faced her closet, full of clothes that no longer felt like hers. The only feminine outfit she owned was the blue dress and gray cardigan from yesterday. She put them on again, finding comfort in their familiar softness. Her coffee with Elise wasn't until noon, leaving several hours to fill. Hallie decided to be productive and began researching resources online, support groups, medical information, legal procedures for name changes. She created lists and bookmarked sites, feeling empowered by taking concrete steps. At 11:30, she prepared to leave for the coffee shop. This time, she applied a touch of the makeup from her starter kit, just mascara and lip gloss, enough to enhance her features without overdoing it. Looking in the mirror, she smiled at her reflection. "Nice to finally meet you, Hallie," she whispered. The walk to the coffee shop was less nerve-wracking than yesterday's first outing. Hallie held her head high, focusing on the simple pleasure of being herself in the world. She arrived early and found a quiet table in the corner. When Elise entered, she scanned the room, her eyes passing over Hallie before doubling back in recognition. A smile spread across her face as she approached. "Hallie," she said, opening her arms for a hug. "You look amazing." They embraced, and Hallie felt tears threatening again. "Thank you for coming, for understanding."
Hey, you're my sibling no matter what. Though I have to say, you make a pretty sister.
They ordered coffee and talked for hours, Elise asking thoughtful questions and offering unwavering support. She even insisted on taking Hallie shopping afterward, helping her select a few essential clothing items to expand her wardrobe. "Mom and Dad might take some time," Elise warned as they browsed a rack of blouses. "But they love you. They'll come around." "I know. I'm not ready to tell them just yet anyway." "Whenever you are, I'll be there if you want." By the time they parted ways, Hallie had several shopping bags containing new clothes. Simple, practical items that reflected her developing style. The blue dress had become a touchstone, the color and style guiding her selections. Over the next week, Hallie continued her journey of self-discovery. She returned to the salon as scheduled, where Vivian and the team welcomed her warmly. This time, they focused on teaching her skills, how to apply her own makeup, style her growing hair, develop her personal aesthetic. "Remember, being a woman doesn't mean conforming to stereotypes," Vivian advised. "Find what feels authentic to you." Hallie took these words to heart, experimenting with different looks at home but always returning to what felt most natural, simple, classic styles that complemented her features without overshadowing them. She also began telling other friends, experiencing a range of reactions from immediate acceptance to confusion that gradually gave way to understanding. Not everyone responded well, but more did than she had expected. Morgan remained a constant support, introducing Hallie to other transgender women who shared their experiences and advice. These new friendships became invaluable as Hallie navigated the complexities of her transition. 2 weeks after her first salon visit, Hallie faced her biggest challenge, returning to work. She had taken vacation days while adjusting to her new identity, but now it was time to bring Hallie into all aspects of her life. She had spoken with HR in advance, finding them surprisingly supportive and prepared. They arranged a meeting with her immediate team before her return, helping pave the way for a smoother transition in the workplace. The night before returning to work, Hallie laid out her outfit: a professional blue blouse, black pencil skirt, and comfortable low heels. The color blue had become something of a signature, a connection to that first transformative day. Morning arrived with a flutter of nerves in her stomach. Hallie dressed carefully, applied her makeup, now a skill she was steadily mastering, and styled her brown hair, which was already beginning to grow out nicely. Looking in the mirror, she saw a confident professional woman, ready to face the world. "You can do this," she told her reflection. The walk into the office building felt surreal. People who had known her as Adrielle for years would now meet Hallie. She had no illusions that it would be perfectly smooth, but she was prepared to handle whatever came with the grace and strength she had discovered in herself. As the elevator doors opened onto her floor, Hallie took a deep breath and stepped forward into her new life. Finally authentic, finally free, finally herself. Her team leader was waiting near her desk, alongside the HR representative she had spoken with earlier. They both smiled warmly. "Welcome back, Hallie," her team leader said, using her name naturally, as if he'd been saying it for years. "We're glad to have you with us." Throughout the day, co-workers stopped by her desk, some awkward but trying, others surprisingly comfortable with the change. There were a few stares and whispers, but the overwhelming response was one of respect, if not always complete understanding. By the end of that first day back, Hallie felt exhausted, but triumphant. She had faced one of the biggest hurdles and remained standing. As she packed up her things to leave, she found a small gift box on her desk with a note. "To new beginnings. Your work family." Inside was a delicate blue pendant, a perfect match for the dress she had worn on that first transformative day. Hallie clasped it around her neck, touching it gently with her fingertips as she left the office. Outside, the setting sun painted the sky in brilliant colors. Hallie paused to watch it, appreciating the beauty in a way she never had before. Her phone buzzed with a message from Morgan. "Proud of you today. Dinner to celebrate?" Hallie smiled and typed her reply. "Absolutely. After all, today is just the beginning." As she walked toward the restaurant where Morgan waited, Hallie reflected on the strange, wonderful journey that had begun with an anonymous gift certificate and a simple note. Discover yourself. She had done exactly that, finding not just a new identity, but a sense of wholeness she had never thought possible. The blue dress from that first day hung in her closet now, a cherished reminder of the moment everything changed. But Hallie carried its essence with her always. In the blue blouses she favored, the pendant at her throat, and, most importantly, in the authentic self she now presented to the world. Some paths to self-discovery were longer and more winding than others. Hallie's had taken nearly 30 years, but now that she had found her way, she wouldn't trade the journey for anything. Each step forward, each challenge faced, each moment of authenticity was a gift, the greatest gift she had ever received, the gift of finally becoming herself.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!